Hey folks, WooFDriver coming at you. We are live. We're at a place, we're in Maryland now, a place called Marley Station. And we're heading out to the Baltimore Annapolis Trail. So the dogs are going to ride on this bike as you see here. And this is custom built for this application, just like everything we do. And we're going to broadcast some of this run because we're in a, relatively speaking, metropolitan area. So we are gonna check out this, do about 11 miles. This goes from, roughly speaking, the Glen Burnie area to Annapolis, and we're gonna, it's a nice day. It's probably in the 40s, always a little warm for the dogs, unless it's 0 degrees or less. So certainly not like a summer day, but you know, we pace them well. We've got Princess with us. She's 15 years old, so she's gonna definitely need her pacing, especially as the weather gets warmer. It's harder on the dogs. It takes them more energy because they're just inefficient at cooling. So that takes more energy to run. So you gotta use caution. And I'm this is a little bit of behind the scenes look. I'm gonna grab my gear. I bring, depending on weather conditions, we've got all different kinds of gear, but I'm just putting my gloves in. And Chris is tightening up the last little bit on, okay guys, they're excited because they see I'm ready. So that means they're gonna get, where's their harnesses? I'll put them on while Chris is finishing up. Okay, so I know if you've seen any of my live videos before, you've seen me do this, any of my videos. Come here, Jag. Hey Jimmy, do you want this? Okay, good deal. Come on, Jag. So this is the Jag, sir. And he is a good boy. He's again all husky, about 9.5 years old. Good boy, Jaggy, giving me his paw. And these are harnesses that are readily available at most pet stores. This one's a little bit higher end, so it would take like a hiking store like an REI or something in our area we have called Barks. And what's so nice about this, I've showed this before, it's called rough wear. And the buckle is kind of camouflaged, I call it, from the dogs, which means normally buckles just go right in and they teeter on the dog when they're running. Some dogs don't care, but Jag wouldn't care either. But Chase, which I'm about to show you, he cares, and he'll reach back and keep trying to bite his harness. So I found that this harness works really well for dogs that like to chew. By the way, I've mentioned this before, this is a Link AKC collar. It's totally detachable, and it's like a Fitbit for dogs. It tracks their activity level as well as tracking their location. So good boy, Jag. And we're gonna take, my harnesses are still on the bike. Let me grab my harnesses, Jim. It's okay. Jim's turning the bike around, so it's going to come on the other side. So what I do, I have two sides of the truck I work out of. This side has no steps, so the dogs I don't give them access coming in and out. They know that when I come in on this side, hi, good boy. Hi, good boy. It's business. We're not going anywhere till they get harnessed up or they get addressed in the way they should, whatever I'm putting on them. That good boy. Come here, Jara. See, this is a little bit what you get here. The two dogs have a little bit of, they're good with each other, but they can be a little territorial. That's why Zorro was actually yielding to Chase. And he wasn't coming right up to me, but I'm telling him it's okay, you can come up to me. So, I don't know if you can catch all this. I'm hoping you can. Easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. Good boy. So I'm trying to do this with cameras on my head and a phone out in front, so bear with me, folks. If you're not getting the best picture, I apologize. Good boy. But this is life with the WooFDriver. Hi, good boy. You're the best. So he's all harnessed up, and now that'll leave room to harness up the Chase man. Hi, good boy. Yeah, that goes in there real nicely. And I worked the way around this AKC, Link AKC collar, and that's a good boy. Chase gave me his paw, and I'm telling him he's always a good boy when we're harnessing up and doing things that I'm directing him to do, and he's cooperating so well. Good boy. And as you can see back here, good boy, Chasey. I'm gonna try to get you the princess view. She's right there. Nope. Let me see. Okay, I think we've got it. So if you're getting a bad view, I apologize. I'm trying to figure this out. Hi, good girl. That's Princess. So the dogs are all harnessed up now. Princess has her harness when we come here because she's harnessed at home, if you caught that on video. By the way, and I'm going to turn the camera down a little bit. I'm not sure if you're seeing this, but so you are now. That's all some of the equipment we bring. We bring a backup, one of my dog-powered go-karts. We do that in case we run into any kind of issues, and it would mean the whole trip is not a failure. We can still run the dogs. Okay, are we ready? Everything good? Okay, so now we're going to get ready to release the dogs slowly, easily. You can see the steps just came out. That gives them easier access. So that's Zorro, and this is Chase. And I keep the door closed behind me, even though Princess doesn't have access to get out, just in case. Anything can happen, I've learned, at any given time. Expect the unexpected. This carabiner is very specialized. It actually has magnetic catch, but it's made for mountaineering, made for mountain climbing, etc. And cold weather, water won't get in there and hinder its operation, which is important because we get in, of course, in climate conditions. So I'm gonna reach for the Princess. Actually, I'm gonna get Jag first because of the situation we're in. Jag will go on the other side. Now, Jag, come on, good boy. Good boy. Jag's steps aren't working, but he's still a young buck. That's okay. These steps are challenging, the steps I've been talking about, to keep working because of the weather. Salt and grime during the winter gets in there. So this is Princess. Now notice how I grabbed her by her handle. Easy, good girl. Good girl. And because she'll jump right out, she doesn't care, and she's tough enough, she don't hurt herself, but certainly I don't want to take a chance, so I guide her along. And that's the way we do that. Everything's there. I think we're good. Now, what's that?
See the entrance?
Yep, and I'm going to the left. This way, up this hill, right? Okay, Crispy. Life is good. Thanks, buddy. You got everything? You got me. I got a glimpse. You got a glimpse on me? Okay, folks. So we're getting ready to roll out.
You may want to go as far as the stop sign and then make a left.
Okay. Are you getting in?
I will.
Okay. Okay. So we're just gearing up here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change cameras and do a major broadcast. Let me change the camera, Jim. Stay where you're at. So I'm going to come back right at you now with another broadcast, folks, of all we do. And I'm going to turn this broadcast off. Actually, you know what? I could switch cameras right now. I'm just going to switch cameras, and you're going to be live with me in 1 sec. So if you see some weird stuff the way it is going to turn the camera, ignore it if you will. And we'll get you in there. Great. So I don't have to rebroadcast. It's okay, buddy. They want to go. When we get up here, the dogs are ready to go. So that's why they're whining a little. I'm going to start that up. So you're actually going to get a view of 360. If I can get to it real quickly. Of the whole. There we go. You should be live right now. Okay. Give me 1 more second, folks, but you're getting a 360 view of everything going on here. This is really cool. Oops. You won't find anyone else doing what we do here to bring you a live view and enjoy everything we're doing to the degree that you can see it all up close and personal. Okay, just making sure I'm plugged in. Phones will last. Thank you.
Beautiful dog.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you. You ready, Jim?
Yes, sir. You make it to the stop sign and then make a left.
Okay. So here we go, folks.
Give you a better view.
You might have to get off and push, Jim. That looks pretty. Tell me how I'm clear on my left.
Car coming to your left.
Look to your left, Jim.
Look at to my left.
Yes.
Go, good.
Okay.
Good.
I'm gonna go. Well, come on, guys. Oh. Okay. And sorry I can't talk to you, folks. I've got some. I gotta set my mile meter now. Let me do that. Okay, so I'll be right with you in 1 sec. Come on, pretty. Dogs are very excited when we first start off. Oh. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, mush them, more pounds.
Mush, mush, mush.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, she's excited. They're doing little pit stops, and I'm trying to work through it. Good girl. Excuse me, folks. Hey, Dan.
Hey.
I'm on a live broadcast. Can I call you?
Oh, okay. I was just gonna
Text me. Text me.
All right.
Bye.
I see it.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, folks. This is really happening, so can't take incoming calls. But business still needs to be done sometimes. So what you're looking at now, Princess is in the back. She'll meander a little back there and hang back a little. That's why we go slow. She might do a bathroom stop. She looks good. We're climbing a hill right now, so maybe if I sound a little winded, I'm pedaling too. The dogs are not pulling, by the way. This bike is powered through a motor. Okay. Can you take care of it, Jim? Thanks. So we've got some of the dogs doing a pit stop, which always happens. And it's because, great, the running stimulates them. Just like a human, the dogs get stimulated. That's why activity's so good for them, like us humans. So it helps them flush their system, if you will. And usually when I run the dogs, of course, they have much bigger appetites. So, I mean, it greatly increases their output. And not trying to be too technical here, but it's pretty wild how it works.
Good.
Okay, here we go, folks. Hike, come on, guys. So right now, we're moving along and they're just doing great. This is great because I haven't had a chance to do this in a while where I can actually be mushing the dogs and talking to everybody. Now, sometimes I may not be able to talk as much like yesterday when I was narrating our grooming, because obviously I've got the dogs to constantly monitor as we're doing this, what I call fur wheeling. So you won't see this anywhere. The way I fur wheel, the way I urban mush, whatever name you prefer, because the dogs are on the side of the bike, as you see. So on the side, I have a little better control. Traditionally, mushing, I got people coming up on me. Come on, guys. What I'll do is I'll move way over. Chase is getting ready to do a little pit stop. So, Jim, I got I got walkers. I thought they were bike riders. So, traditionally, you'll see them out in front. Now, with them on the side, got a pit stop here. Again, this happens a fair amount. And it's all healthy and good for the dogs. Good boy, Zorro. Now, some dogs, sled dogs in particular, will actually go to the bathroom as they run. And Excuse me. So sled dogs on a sled dog team will actually
We're good?
go to the bathroom as they run. Yep. Okay, hike. Now you got Jag. Oh. You got them?
85.
Sorry about that. Howdy, howdy. Have a great day. Thank you. So we're at mile marker 10.5, folks, and we set out to do about 11 miles. So we've probably done a quarter of a mile. Actually, I got my meter on just so you know. Looks like a quarter of a mile if it started. Let me see if it started. It actually did not start. So, tell Jimmy. So we got Dan with us. Dan is known as Dan the Man, or Daniel's son. He is one of the main WooFDriver pit crew people. He's usually doing a lot to do with the dogs. You've probably seen him on a lot of our different adventures. And today he's taking care of the wolf pack's stuff at home, and he's usually he's with us sometimes on these trips, especially our ghost hunts, the werewolves, etc. So Dan is viewing in. So I got the camera spinning, Dan, trying to give everyone a view. So we're on the Baltimore Annapolis Trail, which roughly goes from a mall called Marley Station, which is in the vicinity of Glen Burnie, Maryland, to somewhere in Annapolis, I believe. That's where we're trying to get to, which is about 10.5 miles out from where we're at right now. And we don't double back. So we have one of my WooFDriver pit crew, just like Dan would do if Dan was with us today. He would meet us at another location. He'd drop us off at one place, meet us somewhere else. And Chris is doing that today. Chris has been with me from day one doing all these long haul WooFDriver adventures. So we're going up a little bit of a hill now. Again, the dogs are not pulling. Everybody looks at this and says, oh my gosh, you're making the dogs do all this work. They're not doing any work. They're walking with the bike, trotting with it. Now, when they see something ahead or they get excited, they smell an animal scent, whatever, they will pull, but I usually have to be on the brake to control them from going too fast. What's that?
Bridge.
Yep, I see the bridge, thank you. This is kind of cool. We're getting ready to cross a bridge now, and it's a screen bridge made for the trail, so made for biking and walkers and all that good stuff. We're going to cross, which is probably I-70 or Interstate 70 here in Maryland. And some bridges, there's all different, of course, bridges with configurations. Here's a grate, for instance, and the grate you want to be careful of because the dog's paws. Now, the dogs are all large, of course, but those are kind of large. How the dogs look on the grate? Yep. Good? What's that? Good?
Good.
Yep, so Jim was guiding me a little bit, and that's why Jim's here. Had to get away from the wall, but I had to have her near the wall because I was trying to avoid, of course, the dog stepping on the grate. Now, it had large holes, but it's still not larger than their paws. Most of the times we won't find a grate that's larger than their paws, but I still like to keep them off of them. And different bridges, sometimes you'll get like a drawbridge configuration where the whole thing is a grid, and we've crossed them. You can go on my WooFDriver YouTube channel, the WooFDriver website will take you to it. We'll see videos of us crossing some pretty spectacular bridges, and you'll be amazed at the confidence of the dogs because they've done so many trails. They're very confident in themselves. Again, here's the grid factor on the other side, and that's probably just a rainwater grid like most, or grate. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the grid, Jim. Oh boy, so the dogs are really comfortable riding in narrows. What's that? Nope, I'm good. And Zara's just marking the wall. And I let them mark the area they want because, hey, we're here for them. So, you know, as long as there's not people behind us or waiting to get around us, I let them have pretty much free reign, relatively speaking. I almost said squealing. That's the wheels squealing. Little break, Jimmy. So I'm going to let Jim do the break, because this is what happens. You wear brakes out like it's my job, because I'm trying to balance all the dogs' speed to not overrun, especially for the eldest in the left back, who's Princess. So the brakes also take a beating from the weather and all the wet. So they're still there, but Jim has brakes where he can help. And you can see we're running at a slow speed. Again, just to keep us in check going down what's a hill there. Now that brake squeaking will stop as the brakes get worn in for the day. And I don't have to ride them. So this says, sharp curve ahead, please use caution. And what that means for us is look for traffic ahead, because we're not going fast enough that we're going to do anything on a... But some bike riders do go very fast, so they're letting you know. And of course, there's no motorized vehicles on this trail, but it's a blind spot essentially, or a blind curve. Everybody's running good. Princess is going. So trying to get my watch working. And sometimes I'll let them get on the grass or the leaves, because that motivates them, because it holds more scent than the blacktop, of course. So as the animals go through there, do their business, leave their scent, the dogs actually smell it, and they get amped up by it and motivated. So I'll let them check it out. Now this bike is also pedal assist, which means that the motor works when I'm pedaling, which is really nice too, because I can control the speed almost better that way than with the throttle. Look at this straightaway. How cool is this? I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but we got a straightaway as long as I can see, and it looks great. This trail's really clear, folks, meaning no snow or mud. A little bit of puddling I see here and there. This bike I'm on is actually four-wheel drive. So we've got a fire engine or a police, some kind of emergency vehicle. Of course, that's not on the trail, but you'll see sometimes the dogs get very anxious with that. And people have asked me before, how come dogs, especially dogs like huskies, a lot of times will start howling or whining with sirens? And the reason that is because a siren, if you think about it, sounds like an animal in distress. And they hear that and they start giving sympathy, whatever you want to call it. They think it's their calling, and they will want to tend to it or want to know what's going on and let other animals know they're in the area. So that's where they get it from. Now they'll usually do it at my house when they're not working, so they're not preoccupied. On the bike, it's less likely they'll do it when we're working or when we're free ranging. So it's important to know when the dogs are working, they're usually, that's what their mind's on. That's what they do. And Princess is doing great. All the dogs are doing great. Now Princess, I aim to get anywhere from 1 to 5, 1 to 3, 4, 5 miles even, depending on the conditions and the other dogs. So sometimes the other dogs will be really ready to do a quicker pace. So I'll put her in her chair, in her seat, quicker than I would if the dogs were not wanting to move at a fast pace, so I can let them air their energy out and then sometimes bring her back down. Come on, guys. So we're moving kind of slow, again at a walking pace, no more than 3 miles per hour, because Princess is on board. It says speed limit 15 miles per hour. Now, believe it or not, Princess in her heyday, and these dogs, when Princess isn't on the bike, can do sprint close to about 15 miles per hour on the bike. Without the bike, they can go up to close to 30 miles per hour. I've clocked them at. So if you have any questions or comments, you could certainly leave them on the feed that you're watching me on. I can't access it always. If you want to shout out, I might be able to catch your name as it comes across the screen real quick. I won't be able to usually can't catch the whole question in this format. Again, I'm wolf driving, I'm dog driving. So, but I will try to address your questions or concerns or comments later, if it's advice, whatever. So I'm crossing a road. If you're following us with Google Maps, this is Hammock Lane, it looks like. This is really a pretty nice trail. I've actually never been on this trail, and this trail's actually close to our home base. So, pretty cool stuff. I'm going to probably keep this feed live until for another half hour or so, and then I'll switch over to more independent feeds. This is kind of what they call syndicated. It'll be a little more personalized feeds, and you may be able to ask questions in that format. Oh, sure, running great though. We've got in better than 3/4 of a mile right now. I see someone up ahead because they're lit up pretty good. They got a bright light flashing, which is great, because I know they're there and I can. Yep. Come on, Brady. Good girl. So she'll let me know. Okay, ho. Yeah. Come on, guys. Hike. So usually when I start them up, I'll use some pedal power. And even with that pedal assist, it's a little bit of work. So Princess, if she tires or she wants me to slow down a little, she'll kind of meander behind the vehicle. It's cool she's got enough lead to do that. Howdy. And then I'll slow it down for her. And sometimes encourage her. Come on. Because remember, the more exercise she can get, the more mobility she has. Come on, Brady. And if I really want to excite her, oh, we got a bike rider behind. Oh, we got a walker behind us. So later in the broadcast, you'll see us go really fast when we put Princess up in her special seat. A lot of houses. This was known as a residential trail, so there's a lot of residences. Come on, Pretty. Through the area. Good girl. Come on, good girl. And sometimes I'll even get in the back seat and let Jimmy drive, or my co-pilot, so I can encourage her to go further. Because the more exercise she gets, she feels so much better the next day. And since we're pretty much not going to do any more work for the weekend, I like to max her out. Doing great now. You can see Jag. That's Jag and Princess in the back. And they hear another. What's that, bud?
I just seen some kind of animal cross on the road from the left to the right.
Really? Interesting. So Jimmy just said he saw an animal cross.
I think it's a dog with a person. See that thing on the right hand side?
Yep.
I can't tell yet.
Okay, so Jim's job also, being my co-pilot, is to check out what's ahead, and he said there might be a dog. It seemed like if it was, he thought it was with a person, which is a good thing. Come on, Pretty. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Nice day out here for us humans. Probably, what kind of temperature you think this is at, Jim?
That'd be 45 or 50. We're pretty warm.
45 or 50 degrees. Can you tell what's ahead?
I can't. It didn't look like a person now, but I did definitely see an animal there. See where the structure is on the right hand side of the trail?
Yes.
Yeah, right there I seen some kind of animal cross the trail.
A lot of these trails are, this is more of a residential area, so you might have dogs, but we'll get to areas where there's wild animals. And we've seen bears, porcupines, almost anything you can think of that's indigenous to this region. Coyotes. Princess is doing great now. So if you're out there, give me a shout out. I'd love to hear from you. Again, I am the WooFDriver. This is what I do. I drive my dogs, sometimes on specialized bikes like this, sometimes off leash, free ranging. Sometimes.
Person walking on the left, about 200 feet, 200 yards.
I see him, thank you. So Jim's let me know there's a person walking on the left about 200 yards ahead. And those are all important things so I can prepare the dogs and prepare them to pass us. Now, of course, I can stop. Come on, guys. At any given time. But we like to keep them moving. Stop and go. Sometimes some of the dogs get antsy. Sometimes they just lose their rhythm. So we do our best to keep them rocking and rolling. So this is nice for kind of an urban trail again. More residential, a little more trail traffic, even on a day like today where it's kind of gloomy and not a weekend, still running into some people. When we get sometimes to some of our remote trails that we run, it's very desolate and quiet, and you don't have to be so cognizant of the trail traffic. Come on, Chase. We're moving kind of slow for Chase and Zorro, but especially Chase, so they get bored and they start sniffing around, which is fine because they'll get a chance to air it out soon. And as I have this walker, I'm going to move a little more to my right for him. Come on, guys. Come on, she over. Come on, Chase. Howdy.
Two boys on skateboards.
I see them.
And turned around.
Okay. Some boys on the skateboard, so I'm going to be cognizant of them if they're coming our way or not. And young kids get really excited about what we're doing sometimes, so we want to kind of be able to tell them more about it, but be careful that they don't get too hypnotized by it and stumble into us. Okay, you or something? Could it have been the kids?
Maybe the kids. I've seen it.
See, this is what I'm saying by picking up the pace. Getting very excited. And again, you never know what you're going to see on the trails up here. We've actually run into people that have been lost. And it's been actually police situations where police were asking us what we saw when we saw it, etc. Come on, guys. Good boys. And I'm just slowing them down because of the princess. But you can hear their excitement. Okay, boys. You can hear their excitement. And this is good because it's motivating her some. But again, I don't want her to spend all her energy with the other boys, with Chase and Jag and Zorro. If they were just them on here, I could let them rock and roll, and we would be getting tears in our eyes from the speed. Whatever it was. What's that, Jim?
200 yards. It looks like a person with a dog.
Okay. That's probably what they...
Sam?
Yep.
Definitely a dog.
Dog on leash?
Can't tell for sure. He's right alongside the man running, walking.
So, again, this is why I mush with the dogs on the side. If the dogs were out in front, it would be creating an issue where you have to be more cognizant that they don't cross lines, and they are...
Two dogs, not on a leash.
On a leash. Do you want to get out and tell them?
See him coming at you?
Yeah. Is he putting them on leash now?
He sees him. He sees us. I think she's putting him on a leash now.
Okay. Can you tell that's a girl up there?
I believe it's a girl. Just by the motion.
Okay.
I think she put him on a leash.
Okay. we don't want to run into dogs not on a leash. So
Yeah, they look like they're on a leash now.
great. Dogs look behind. They're cognizant of everything. They're very smart. So they heard a car.
When you get around it, like get off, if you get by the fence,
Yep.
get off to the left of the right, there's plenty of room there to get around it. It looks like they're Labradors or something in the family.
Okay, Jimmy
They
saying.
look like they're puppies. I don't think they're grown.
Now what I could do is I could move all the way over. So
Good, bud. That would be good.
you got Jaggy if you need to.
That's better than two. They're all. You got them on a
Yeah, but sometimes they can't control them still.
look like that. I don't think they're aggressive.
Yeah, but they just get excited, Jim.
Where you going, buddy?
What's that?
Thank you.
Thank you. Come on, guys. Good boys.
Look at them good boys, Dad. Good boys, Dad.
Come on, guys. And that's how we pass dogs. So it's a little tough when they were young dogs and she didn't have as good control over them. So sometimes my co-pilot will actually jump out and help assist somebody with dogs like that in that situation. And that's because when dogs see a setup like this, 4 other dogs together, a pack, they get really excited. Not always in an aggressive way, but just very excitable. So we therefore have to prepare for that. Carry an extra leash with us, etc. If one of the dogs would break free, we could, not our dogs, but their dogs. We could leash them. Also, if we run into any dogs that are off leash, sometimes not even with their own or stray dogs, whatever, we can leash them up. So it's all about being prepared. Come on, guys. Boys. And they just want to sniff where the poles are. Where the post. I'm still trying to get them out of range of the other dogs because she had her dogs off leash. And if she does that, I don't want to be sitting still if I don't have to. So I wouldn't be a distraction for them. So I just get far away enough past them. Oh, pretty. Come on, pretty. Sometimes you gotta.
What you doing, man?
She's doing okay. Sometimes you gotta play the pretty's game and let her think she's setting the pace, which she is, but let her know that for sure. And she'll get in a position where she feels comfortable again and she'll come back. So I'm keeping an eye on the camera, everybody. You're looking at the 2 back dogs right now, and what's behind Jim in the center is their bed. So in case anybody needs a rest. And now,
You're going to come to a road where there's a traffic light that you believe will stop the cars for us to go across.
okay, great. So our wingman, guy in the field, Chris, has let Jim know that we're going to come to a road where there's I guess it's a pretty big road crossing, but there's a button we can push to cross the street. And again, that's why I've got assistants with me. Jim can get out and stop traffic if he needs to, or direct me across in whatever way is safest. Remember, even though it's hard to get a perspective from what you're seeing on camera, we're kind of low to the ground. So people doing their thing in their cars, texting, and not being as alert as they should be can come close to you pretty quickly. So that's why road crossings are major obstacles for us, and we need to take all precautionary measures we can. So this looks like a commercial building we're passing. See it, Jimmy?
Yeah.
do you think that is? Did you catch a sign? Shopping center. So I know we're kind of a random sight for people to see. 2 guys and 4 dogs in a crazy looking bike. It's not something you see every day, and that's why we do attract a lot of attention. But it's all good. We enjoy it. We take in a lot of history on these trails. We're in an area of the country where it's pretty rich in Civil War history, so lots of places we go, you'll find old ruins from the Civil War and stories, signs, historical aspects. It's really fun and interesting. And when you do this like I do, you become a little bit of a history buff and become pretty curious about it. Look at Princess. So, oh, you're not seeing that now, but I'm looking in my mirror and she's actually picking up her pace, which is awesome. And I'll give you a mileage reading soon. That's Chase and Jag. There's Jimmy and there's Princess, and she's rocking and rolling. She's actually picking up her pace. Sometimes you can go too slow for them, I find. So it's hard to find that happy medium. But when you do, you try to balance that speed the best you can, maintaining it. But it's hard sometimes because dogs will stop, go to the bathroom, they'll see something, whatever. And that means you got to tend to them, and they'll change direction a little bit. So to keep it all balanced, I might meander to my left or right or talk to them a little bit, whatever. That's what I call wolf driving. Okay, my best girl. Doing great. Mile marker's coming up. Is this the road, you think, Jim?
I think up there where the stop sign is.
So right now, is that a mile marker, Jimmy?
Yeah, it looked like it was. That should be 10.
10 or 9.5?
No, let's see. Could be, Billy, I don't know, did 9.5. I seen one for 10 and a quarter, so I imagine that was 10.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It broke off and I couldn't see it.
I think we've gotten about 1.5 miles according to my records here, which is wonderful for Princess. Again, 15 years old and just getting this kind of walk in is simply awesome. So we're coming to a road crossing here, folks. Yeah. Long red light. This is called Jumper's Hole Road, which I've heard of, and Elevation Road. What's that, Jim? Yep, just in time for us. There is a cross button and signal.
See the button?
Oh yeah, I see Crispy. Where's the trail go? Oh, straight across. Oh, it's got a bike rider.
Bike rider?
Yep, behind me.
Okay.
Hey there, you have enough room?
I'll get the button for you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, I appreciate it.
That's quite a vessel.
It is. It keeps the dogs in shape.
Chargers?
Chargers, little bit of everything.
Electronics?
Yeah, power of the electronics, all the goodies. There's a power assist motor on here. There's a little bit of everything.
Nice.
We might beam up to space before we know it.
Wings pop out?
That's it. They're exactly right. All fun.
Oh, yeah.
All in good fun.
Wow. Good engineering project.
Oh gosh, you're not kidding. It's been years in the work making. We've done a few of these. I work with a guy in Utah, so he's the mastermind behind it all. I try to tell him what I want, and he
Very nice.
makes it happen. Thank you.
Good drawing.
You too. Have a great day.
Good
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
How my dogs on my left side?
Keep going, good. Keep going.
How's Jack? Come on. Come on, guys.
See where you're going?
Yep, straight across.
No problem.
Yeah, I know. How am I going to avoid that?
Get the bike around if your dogs will be all right.
Yep. Bike around the snow pile. Now I'm sitting up a little bit, folks, so I can make sure we're good.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Come on, pretty.
Bicycle coming at you. Walker coming at you.
How I look around this.
Good. Everything's good around the turn. You need to get around the straightaway, you'll see them.
Yeah, they might turn around too.
No, they're coming off onto the parking lot. That's pretty good.
Okay. So that was a little bit of a.
The bicycle just stopped right there. That's standing.
Okay, cool. Now when we stop at a red light or something like that, that gives Princess a little bit of a break, which is nice. And it gives the dogs a chance to get a little energized. Not that they need a break at the slow pace, but they get a little anticipation building. Sometimes, like when you hold them back, they go quicker. What's that say, Jimmy?
What's it say? 9 miles.
Gee, so we went further than we thought.
Yep.
What's that make it? Almost 2 miles.
Yeah. A little more than a mile and a half.
Yeah.
We started 10.5, correct?
Yes. Well, we started before that, but
Yeah. That's 41.
see that plane in the sky, Jim, because BWI's near here. So we've got,
Ladies keep coming back and forth across the thing.
yeah. Cool. Howdy.
Hi.
How you doing?
Great rig.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Get some little exercise. Come on, Princess. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Come on.
What do we got? Malamute?
Actually, Huskies, he's got some Malamute in him.
I thought he had a little
Yeah, yeah, he's got the big head. He knows it too.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Come on, Princess.
Do it. Oh, we're getting towed in the back.
Yeah, she's the oldest, so come on, pretty. She wants to stop. Let's give her a drink, Jim. So we're gonna stop.
How far do we go on a good day?
Go up to 30 miles. Usually 10 miles today, something like that, depending on the location. I mean, we'll do this whole trail, the rest of it at least, and depending on the situation, how far we go. Usually the weather is the biggest factor.
Is it self-rigged or you can buy something like that?
This is all custom made. Any recumbent bike.
Top? Is that what we have up there?
A camera so we can broadcast YouTube, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but this is like a recumbent bike design, of course, but it was custom built for this application with these rails to attach the dog.
It almost looks like a boat trailer sort of rails.
It does actually, and it's all made out of aluminum for lightweight. I mean, it's only going to be so light, of course, with 2 people on here.
Now I get the Okay, now
Yeah.
I understand. I hadn't seen the battery until now.
Yeah, the battery will power it. Now, we usually don't really need the battery because we try to find level trails, blacktop trails, but we can go way off-road because we have 2 motors, so we can go 4-wheeling, essentially. Especially now, the trails are muddy
Yes.
or snow. That really helps. What were you going to say?
Like, there's some poundage.
Oh, there is. There is.
How many people say you look like Zach? I mean, is it every person?
Zach, yeah.
I mean, is it everyone?
A lot of people do think that. They think that, yes. If I was only as famous as him, I'd be okay.
Really? You're like, I'm friendly, but I'm not your friend.
Oh, he's really friendly. He's just, they're all babies.
It's kind of funny because usually the dogs are pulling the stuff.
I know. See, if the dogs were out in front, it would be harder for me to do a trail like this because they would be able to meander more. So this way I could pull over, keep them on a short lead. Plus, they don't have to work here. We could just pedal. So she's like 15 years old, so she could just kind of float in the back, if you will. Yeah, the seats for her, or any of them if they get tired, but mainly her.
It's an event, though. So what do? We put this on a trailer or on a roof?
Well, actually, that's the truck. So we got a guy in there who'll trail us. So wherever we go, like if the dogs tire out or we run into, sometimes we'll get to a trail and it'll be closed for no reason. They're doing construction. He'll meet us there. Sometimes some of these roads are big to cross. He'll get there and help us cross. But we can put this on top of that vehicle with an electric winch that's mounted on top. But we use a trailer because we bring 2 bikes because we have a lot of problems. Just, you know, things break on these. It's a long chain back. You get to something you don't expect. We're still pulling a lot of weight. And when it comes down to it, they're all built with bike parts. So they're not really ATVs because they wouldn't be allowed on the trail if they were. So you're only going to get so much out of these things. So
I see with battery technology and torque, so we no longer weight we need in the bicycling industry because you know what power resist.
right, exactly.
It's right at that pivot point where there's no reason as a yuppie I shouldn't have at least one electric bike.
Yeah.
And then 10 years from now, everything will be electric.
She's the only
And you assist or not, because if it's too much weight, just give it minimal assist and the weight issue.
It's awesome. And I use one here. It's got a throttle, but it's got the pedal assist. Pedal assist, I can control the speed better, and I can manage it, and you don't hear the motor, so you don't know. We did this one. I've been doing this for years. We went to the National Mall in D.C., from the Lincoln Memorial to almost the U.S. Capitol, and they went crazy, the Capitol Police. But you're allowed to bring dogs, you're allowed to bring bikes. So they were like, they said, I see the motor, and you can't use the motor. They went crazy, but I wouldn't know if you're using it anyway, they told me. But you're not supposed to use it, and they were kind of smirking. But
This is the gray line, so that you can go, but if this becomes a big thing, we'll have to shut it down.
Exactly. And I've been to other trails where the park rangers seen the motors and they're like, you know, it's no big deal. You guys are using it just to assist you. But I see guys telling me, I'm not using the motor as they go 50 miles per hour past us, and that becomes problematic. I can only go so fast anyway because I got the dogs. The bike will go fast. It'll hit 35 miles per hour without the dogs.
Sustain for like, what, 5 minutes?
It'll do 35 miles per hour. I haven't picked out, we haven't done distance on that kind of speed, but the batteries will last me for anywhere from 10 to 15 miles going at a 4 or 5, 6 mile, going at a walking pace.
These are units, so you just chuck them if there's no...
Well, they're expensive. I mean, these could be $300 to $500 a battery, but we've also, usually I'm talking 2 batteries, we've rigged up 4 batteries on here, so you theoretically I get 20, 25 miles.
On all of these designs, there's going to be a weight transition point where too many batteries are...
Exactly.
And that is changing as technology. I mean, all of that envelope is changing.
It is.
The thing is, this is the time where this becomes not only viable, affordable. If the Indians and Chinese start knocking them out of transport, it's done.
Right, yeah.
This brakes now are on every bicycle.
Every-
$200 enough.
Wow.
Wow. And they just said mass manufacturing.
Yeah, that's what it is. They say the Chinese can't build a lithium battery like the Americans, but they'll get there. So, I mean, you know, that's
Best carbon fiber frames in the world are made.
China, U.S. Where?
Yeah, you've got that huge
The
bar.
other China.
Yeah,
Really?
carry water.
They are the best in the world. They've got their technology. Yeah, we hand make good stuff in the States and Switzerland, whatever. But Taiwan is
So-
the best company.
Yeah, that's
And because Giants there, their largest company, they now know how to make
That's the
really
word.
good ones.
Yeah.
So the
That's
you know
the word.
people looks
That
like,
cuts us way
oh,
down.
thank God
what
it's
we do
made
is we
in
travel
whatever at the high end of the market because that's where they go. But it's gonna
it's interesting. It's totally interesting.
Okay, well, I got to get back to Arlington.
Yeah, is that where you're from? Arlington, Virginia?
He lives up here.
That's-
Sometimes we play hooky on.
We do the C&O a lot, and we've done it wire to wire, and then going to the Gap Trail to Pittsburgh, of course, segments at a time. Yeah.
That was 2 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I love the C&O, the history. You think so, really?
Oh, there's no mod, there's no
Look at that, yeah.
even
It-
flat,
Has it
wider,
ever-
no. And I found this out by talking to rangers.
Yeah.
C&O cannot be
most dogs,
fixed.
I have horses,
It's
and most dogs
historically
are-
preserved.
Right.
So every part that gets washed out every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if they put a culvert on it, that's going to be better. But they have a charter.
They have to abide by the law rules.
That's how there's a charter. They're like, we can spend $2 million and save ourselves 100 because we keep, putting, and they have piles next to those 4 corners where the river washes it out all
But-
the time.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
They
Yeah.
can't because it's, it's architecture.
History. Yep.
Yeah, the gap is whatever, and they have the crushed rock and smooth.
The Gap is awesome because we've done it, and some of the waterfalls you get to, some of the areas are just sensational.
The
Yeah.
best, and nobody's on it. I mean,
How about, have you done like the Old Dominion, Washington Old Dominion? Sucks.
too many people
Too many-
try going through Preston and you go.
Yep.
Every couple. I can't do it for fitness. I can't go fast. I'll be an asshole.
Right, exactly.
It's good with a family to go short, but if you want to go get exercise, there really isn't one, except now the Anacostia Trail is.
Oh, Anacostia, yeah.
phenomenal.
That's cool. I'll get on there.
And it takes you to breweries in the back end of Kenilworth Avenue. You can have a beer and then go back to the ballpark, which is where it's at. It's kind of cool and it's not crowded. And they spend a ton of money. The plan is to hook it up to Bethesda.
I know they're trying to hook them up. Yeah.
Once that happens, it's good because there are stretches of it where, like this, you can open up because there's not traffic and people and kids and dogs.
That's awesome. All right, we better go. Great talking to you all. I love doing that.
Take a picture with Zach and say, guess who we saw?
Say, nobody will know the difference. Hey, we can autograph it. Yeah, I'm sure you'll pass us. We go slow. Till I put the old girl up, we go real slow.
Second day on a bicycle, really.
Wow. She seems to be doing great. Good luck. Thank you. Okay, folks. Sorry about that. If you're still with us, kind of. That was just some people we met along the trail. And that's what happens when we're wolf driving. And that's part of the fun. Actually talking and checking out everybody. And sometimes the people, like he was telling us about another trail, the Anacostia Trail down in Virginia. He's down in Virginia. And that's where they reside, or he does. So he was telling us, and that's kind of cool. She has horses. Wow.
Duck and geese over here on the right, so in the pond.
Oh, cool, Jimmy.